For centuries, humanity has lived as if it were separate from nature, as if the planet were a machine at our disposal, an infinite resource to fuel our ambitions, our progress, our comfort. But history shows otherwise, shows that there are consequences, that there are cycles, and that everything we do returns in one form or another. Today, we're going to explore this idea. We're going to delve deep into the philosophy behind natural disasters and ask, are we living the consequences of a profound disconnection with the Earth? Is there a kind of environmental justice happening right before our eyes? This isn't mysticism, but a powerful reflection that unites history, science, and philosophy. Let's start with a brief journey into the past. In 17th century Japan, volcanic eruptions were seen as manifestations of divine wrath. In many indigenous cultures, changes in the climate were interpreted as warning signs that humans were disrupting a sacred balance. And before you think that this is a thing of the past, know that this symbolic and respectful view of nature has a lot to teach us today. These ancient cultures understood something that we have forgotten. The Earth is not a passive entity. It is a living system. And like any organism, it reacts. The difference is that in the modern era, we call these reactions disasters. Now, let's get to the science. There is no doubt that global warming, for example, is directly related to the increase in natural disasters. The planet's temperature rises, glaciers melt, oceans heat up, and extreme events such as hurricanes and droughts intensify. This is a fact. And more studies show that our actions, deforestation, pollution, carbon emissions, are pushing the planet's limits to a point of no return. But here comes the philosophical point. The real question is not just what are we doing, it is why are we doing it? Why do we keep repeating the same mistakes? Why, even with so much information, do we still behave as if we were immune to the consequences? This is where the idea that the environmental crisis is, above all, a crisis of conscience comes in. Perhaps the planet is forcing us to wake up, not through words, but through impact. Through events that bring us face to face with our vulnerability, that remind us that we are part of something bigger, something that we cannot control. Take Hurricane Katrina, for example. Thousands of lives affected, cities destroyed. And what did it show us? That social inequality and environmental crisis go hand in hand. That those who suffer most from nature's fury are the most vulnerable. And that, ultimately, our disconnection from nature is also a disconnection from humanity. This reflection leads us to the famous Gaia theory, proposed by James Lovelock. According to this theory, the Earth is a living superorganism, capable of self-regulation. When a system is out of balance, it acts to restore balance. It is a scientific idea with strong philosophical echoes. What if nature, in reacting to imbalance, is simply trying to heal itself? What if natural disasters are symptoms of this self-regulation process? Of course, this does not mean that the Earth has any intention, nor that there is any conscious revenge. But as a metaphor, as a way of awakening, this vision has incredible power. It forces us to rethink our role, to let go of the illusion of superiority and accept that we are part of a fragile and interdependent ecosystem. And this change in mindset is urgent. We need to move from exploitation mode to reconnection mode. We need to see natural disasters not only as tragedies, but as calls. Calls to restore balance, to change the way we live, consume, and relate to the world. Take the example of Iceland, where volcanic eruptions are part of life. There, instead of fighting nature, the inhabitants have learned to adapt, to respect the signs, and to live in harmony with the environment. This is wisdom. This is ecological awareness applied to real life. And what can we learn from this? That perhaps true progress lies not in dominating the Earth, but in listening to what it has to say. In recognizing that nature is not against us, it is just trying to survive. And if we continue to be deaf, perhaps the signals will become stronger and stronger, harder to ignore. This video does not have all the answers, but it does have a proposal that you reflect, that you see natural disasters with different eyes, not just as random events, but as consequences of a disconnected, unsustainable, and ultimately self-destructive lifestyle. The good news, there is still time, can still change. We can create a new relationship with the planet. More fair, more sensitive, more balanced. But this starts within each one of us. in the way we consume, how we vote, how we educate our children,